know everybody talks about the Netflix thing, and you're probably sick of. I don't know if you're sick of it. You sick of talking about it?
I definitely don't like to watch it, but um, yeah, 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 I'm sick of it. Everybody thinks they know who I am off this Netflix thing, and I'm just like, I told you what I wanted you to know. There's plenty more to my story that I didn't say on Netflix, and I'm just like, whatever. Everyone, what's the word? Perceives me as this, immature hood rat. I don't even want to say hood rat, just immature, like dumb, almost teenager, who's just making mistakes, act like I haven't grown up. The Netflix thing was filmed 2 years ago. My mentality has changed so much since then. Um, Actually, it was filmed 3 years ago. It took a year to come out, and then it's been out for a year. So I don't know. I think it's good to let people know how much I've grown.
People forget this, don't they? Like they, number one, you're on a show that is going to magnetize and be attracted to who the stars are, who jumps off the screen. I just did a refresher course on the special because I obviously have a vested interest. I didn't start in OVW, but I got my break in OVW, and
Yep.
that led to great things for me. But you're the first person we see. You're the first individual that we see on that show.
You hear
And
my annoying voice first, first thing. I'm like, oh my God.
but but they know where the bread is buttered. They know where the money is so
Right.
to speak, right?
Yeah.
Because you're somebody who jumped off the screen and you weren't hesitant one bit to speak your mind. You are as Iron
A
Sheik would
blessing and a
say.
curse. A blessing and a
Yes,
curse.
right. The real. You're the real.
I'm the definition of when keeping it real goes wrong. That's my whole life. I'm just like, Haley, shut up. Just shut up.
But I think like something that you said that jumped out at me quite a few times is that I'm I'm this angry girl. I'm angry.
Hmm.
I'm pissed off. I'm angry. And it's such a weird thing because you can sense that for sure when certain situations arise. But people have been through a lot. It's kind of we catch people off guard in the sense that like there's a dark humor. We don't really like to sell or complain about our problems, so people think nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Because we had to be tough to get through it, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So who is when you saw and you said you see that now, and I'm that angry girl. I was that angry girl. How do you feel about that statement today?
I definitely think that I've came a long way. I was just having a conversation with my trainer, my pops, Reverend Ronnie Roberts, and there was a point after the Netflix series. I'm like the ultimate baby face at this point, and um, I don't know. I think I was, working on my spiritual journey, and I was just trying to be positive, and I was speaking a lot of positive things, and positive things were coming at me, and I wasn't so angry. And I felt like I couldn't really channel that in the ring. So I'm just out here, like getting beat up. I'm not switching the gear and bringing the aggression like I need to. And I told him, I was like, I think it's because like I'm not so angry on the inside anymore. And he was like, well, you always have plenty to be angry about, you just got to channel it. But um, he said that he had other people go through the same struggles. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I just remind myself, like, there are plenty of things for me to be angry about. This sacrifices that I make every single day that, I'm like, and I just channel that. I channel the old Haley. That's what I say because she's still there. That was an extension of me. That girl that they saw on the camera, the girl that I used to be, all of that is me. I've just grown up since then, and I want to do things the right way. And I was angry. I was angry. I had a, shitty childhood. It started off great. Let me just say that my mom was selling drugs, and we were boom, living our best life. I had everything I needed. She was very good at like hiding what she was doing from us, kept us busy watching wrestling, watching Eddie Guerrero, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio,
Ultimate worker, right?
Yeah, she was good. She was good. But we're kids and we're growing up. We sense weird things. Like we had cameras all over the house. Mom was always in her room. We weren't allowed to go in these certain places. So once
Right.
we get older, we're figuring it out. And then once we got busted and robbed a couple of times, well, then we really figured it out what was happening. Like, well, that's shitty. And then she went to jail. And when she got locked up, that's when I guess shit really went south. Sorry, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, well, that's when shit really went south. We started living with different people, from my auntie, my uncle, my grandparents. But it seemed like everywhere we went, we were a burden, me and my brother. And it was just like, I don't know. I got beat up a lot as a kid, and I even taught myself like not to cry because I would get in trouble for crying. I feel like I used to be a sweet little girl, but eventually
Right.
you don't get your ass beat enough to where you're like something clicks. You're like, fuck this. I'm starting to fight back. You know what I'm saying? So I think I turned clicked into a different mentality, and then yeah, it started off there. A lot of anger came from there. And we go to my teenage years. Mom was out of jail at this point. She's trying to do it the right way. She's wrestling. I fell out of love with wrestling. So I'm, doing my own thing on the side, which was stupid, selling drugs, getting locked up for selling drugs, dibbling and dabbling in some drugs,
So you're
stealing.
doing the street life deal.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought that was the way to go because my family was doing it before me. And I saw, what we could have. Even though I saw bits and pieces of the bad part too, I'm like, the money's worth it, it'll be fine. And there were times there's things that my mama don't even know about. I wasn't talking to her for a brief, period of time throughout my teenage years. After I left, I moved out when I was like 16, I want to say. Slept in park sleds, slept in my boyfriend's car, slept or couch surfing, and then eventually me and my man got an apartment with his cousin and her man, and that turned bad. Ended up with all my things being thrown off the balcony and me getting kicked out of my own house, all these girls trying to jump me.
Yeah.
And then I got my own place in the PJs, and then now at this point I got to pay my own bills. So I'm still dibbling a little bit more in the street life. Now I'm starting to sell narcotics and marijuana and stuff. And I got robbed before I had Zayden. I got robbed at one point. I was pulled up to serve somebody, and I guess he brought a friend with him, but I didn't know he was going to do that. So the one that I knew got in the front seat, and somebody else got in the back seat.
Popped out.
Well, I turned to pick up, the stuff, and I turned, and boom, there's a freaking gun to my cheek. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. And then I backed up like this, and I feel the other one. And I'm like, oh, okay, here, just take it. Like, what? It wasn't even a zip. Wasn't even a zip. And you guys are.
Right.
I was like, take it. It ain't worth my life. And I'm sitting here in my car. They get out and run. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this. Okay, done. But you don't do it. So I went through that, before I had Zeta, and it didn't stop me. My friends over here trying to do the same thing. All females, young, 16, 17 years old, small, getting punched in their face by grown men, taking their money, their stuff. And it's just like, that lifestyle's not for us. It's just not for a little girl. Because they definitely gonna try you. I ain't have no protection either. I've always been against like getting a gun or whatever, just because I feel like my mentality is not, where it needs to be. And I might be too crazy, whether it's on myself or somebody else. I just quick to make decisions, emotional decisions. So I never would, have that to protect myself. And then, once I had my son, me and Deshaun, my baby daddy, broke up when he was 2 months old. I'm freaking working 8 to 8 at the Cracker Barrel, and this man sitting at home playing on his games, just very lazy, very spoiled, and I just couldn't get with that. So I'm like, boom, you gotta go. I can do better on my own, okay? So boom, I'm still doing the same thing, working at Cracker Barrel now, trying to do it right, but still trying to get it the fast way. And
Right.
then the situation happened where I guess this girl set me up, and then the dude ran up in my crib, and he put the gun on me, not only me, but my child. And at that point, I'm like, man, you're a piece of shit. Like, you done seen a lot through your life, you know what I'm saying? Your mom has done a lot, but she ain't never had you held at gunpoint. So I'm like, okay, all right, this is where we're going to start to switch things up. Now, keep in mind, the whole time I'm doing all this dumb shit, I would have conversations with my friends. Like, I consider them my sisters, my two girls. I would tell them, like, I really think I can make money in this wrestling shit. Like, I don't know what it is, but I see it. I feel it. Like, I get it. And they're like, do it. I'm like, nah, I don't know. I didn't see my mom go through so much. I hated wrestling. Oh, I hated it. And then every single time something bad would happen, boom, it would just pop back up in my mind. Boom. Every single time. Then, yeah, once you hit the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up.